Let's see if I can remember how to stream properly. Hopefully the music is not too loud. It's the same playlist that I was playing like toward the end of last year. Let's see. It sounds like this song is just on loop. I'll try and fix that. Okay, it's because I had it on loop. No wonder. Let's fix that up. That should be better. Alright. What's been happening with Bitcoin? The last time I streamed was the 11th of November. So right here. Right as it went into like a bit of a bear market, I guess. Or, well, I would say reaccumulation phase. I mean, it's still very up. Like, it's still... We're still way above the old all-time high of 20k. So... It's more so just like a plateau. Less so than a bear market, I would say. Like, it's... I mean, it could play out to be... similar to, you know, what happened after this all-time high here. Where it went flat for quite a while, which, yeah, technically that's a bear market, I guess. But for it to be up so high and maintaining value at around, you know, around 40,000, give or take a couple of thousand, that's a sign that the market isn't, you know, crashing back down to its previous levels, that's for sure. But there is a huge gap between like these extreme lows, the recent lows, and the previous high of 2018, 2017. So we have not ventured back into this dead zone here. If anything, we're getting higher lows on the macro scale, so yeah, things are trending up, if you ask me. Like, over time, like, it's still early to say, you know, if we're going to be back on track for a bull market, but, you know, this could flatten out and lose more energy, just like it did back here. Like, we got lower highs, you know, slightly lower lows over time. This drop here was a bit of an anomaly. That wasn't like any kind of natural market influence or flow. That was caused by like a black swan event type thing. This here, another black swan, that was COVID-19. So, but the recovery, so quick. Really good, fast recovery, so no problems there. Alright, so where are things headed? Let's go to the weekly chart. Check out the MACD. So there was a bit of a false start here about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Like, we got this nice little rally up. However, that's hit a ceiling and we're now sort of settling back into those lows that we came out of. So, I mean, it seems like consolidation at this range is what I'm seeing. You know, until we see any previous highs broken, like, we need to get above 48k to really break this consolidation trend here. Or if we break below 30, that's gonna that's going to set a precedent for a more of a bear market, I suppose. But I mean, even with the world the way it is at the moment, like with the Ukraine-Russia crisis at the moment, that's still Bitcoin's still holding in a range between 35 and 40, 48. So, but yeah, that I think yeah. I would be surprised if Bitcoin got below 30. I don't see that happening anytime soon, at least. I think this seems to be like a nice range for reaccumulation, and then something's going to happen where it sparks off the next rally up. That's my sort of prediction, I suppose you could say. Not financial advice, of course. I mean, it's a fool's game to try and predict the future, but because we don't know what's around the corner, like whether it's going to be another black swan type thing that crashes the market out, or whether we see a huge surge in crypto again, like for who knows what trigger that would be. But yeah, it can happen. So you've always got to be prepared for the possibility. Now, as far as the MACD goes, like the technical indicators, so I mean, everything is on the side that favors buying or accumulating, right? You definitely don't want to be buying at the top of markets, like when your oscillators are up on the high side, right? So yeah, I mean, if you're accumulating slowly or whatever you can afford to do, it's not the stupidest idea, I would say. That's my opinion anyway. Once again, no financial advice here. This is just all the way I see it, the way I interpret the charts. So, let's have a look at something else. So we've looked at Bitcoin. Let's see. I'm gonna open up a Doge chart because I know a lot of people like Doge, me included. I like it when it's pumping. Wasn't 420 this year a bit of a flop? Nothing really happened. I mean, I think this little pump here was potentially because of the Elon Musk news buying Twitter, or at least the rumors of him buying Twitter. I don't know. You can argue like many different reasons as to why Doge did that pump there, but yeah. I mean, if you guys got in on that, that was a pretty solid day. From like, the lows of that day all the way to the very top, that was, almost 40%. 40% volatility right there. That's crazy for trading. That's very strong performance for one day. But yeah, seeing that coming, that would have been pretty tricky. I think you would have had to have been accumulating Doge all through here, preparing for any of those like random pumps that happen along the way. But yeah, you can see how different the last 420 was. This, like all this action here. I mean, it was in the middle of a bull market, so whereas at the moment we're in, I would say, well, you could argue it is a bear market at the moment. It's just accumulation. By no means is crypto dead, it's just sleeping at the moment. Like, that's pretty much what happens on repeat. It goes through a cycle of accumulation, distribution, which is where all of the accumulators are selling to the new people, the buyers that are driving the price up. They bought during an accumulation phase, and they sell it during distribution to basically taking profits, and then yeah, the cycle repeats. So if that doesn't spell accumulation to you, then maybe you should look at a few more charts just to sort of gauge what accumulation means, what distribution means. So yeah, it's a long and boring cycle. So a lot of people probably tuned out of crypto, like me. I'm guilty of that too. Like, I haven't been streaming for a while, so I've still been watching the charts though. Don't get me wrong, definitely always keeping an eye. But yeah, I thought I would check in with you guys to see how you're doing and let you know that I'm still around. Waiting for that next bull market, definitely. That'll be fun. Lots of skills that I've picked up from this bull market that we've just come out of, like, well, bull phase, I suppose, since COVID, all the way up to here. So that was the COVID drop, and then the recovery drove it into a bull market, whereas we got our all-time high of $69,000 for Bitcoin. So, oh wow, show me where Rick touched you in Pisket VR. Thank you so much for that little super chat there, appreciate that. I lost sleep because I didn't hear your voice. Appreciate that. It's nice to see all my stream settings are still the same, so when the super chats come through, it comes up on the screen, so that's cool. Let's see. So we'll go back to Doge here. I'm going to turn on the logarithmic view, and we'll see how that's going. So on the daily chart for Doge, you can see that it goes through these periods of, obviously this was thanks to the overall bull market. It creates the environment for the altcoins to do this kind of stuff, There's enough liquidity like flowing through the markets. At the moment, everything's turned down a bit. Like, a lot of market participation has gone out the window. So there's not a lot of volume being traded like on a daily basis, like back and forth. Volatility has slowed right down, which makes trading pretty like trying to draw blood from a stone. So, yeah, I mean, one approach is just to accumulate. I mean, that's the plain and simple approach you could take, I suppose. Not advice, just a strategy, I suppose, that you can consider as something to think about or do more research on strategies around accumulation for investment. Yeah, I myself, I'm not trading any of this. I haven't traded since this part. I traded all through here and like up there. I even traded through that too. Made some losses, but that's cool. It's all part of it. Yeah, through like, I would say this section here of about, what's that, 6 months or so, I haven't taken any action. So I've bought bits and pieces like of Bitcoin, a couple of altcoins through this sort of like period of just low volatility. I mean, that's harmless. I mean, if it does drop again, if there is going to be any further bloodshed to come, you can just pick up more. That's the beauty of dollar cost averaging. So I see a couple of questions about am I associated with any other communities? Not at this time, no. I'm not part of any communities per se. I still have my Discord. I'm still attached to Static's Discord, which, hey, he just sent a super chat. Thank you, Static, $1.99. Whoa, he lives. Yeah, I'm still around, still down under. But yeah, I've just haven't really been around that much. There's a few Discord channels that I'm still in, but yeah, you can probably tell I haven't been that active. So yeah, it's just that time of the market cycle, I suppose, where it's just there's not a lot of activity as far as trading is concerned. Like, it's a bit, those conditions just aren't there to produce those same kind of trades that we were doing back in late, or even all the way through 2021. I mean, 2021 was an awesome year. There was so much action, so much activity. If I draw a box around 2021, it's crazy. So yeah, this year so far, bit of a fizzle, bit of a non-activity type year, but I'm sure there's been altcoins that have had some good days here and there, but for the most part, it's been a sleepy year compared to last year. I mean, if you look at 2019, 2020, even those years were pretty like flat too. I mean, if you were aware of the COVID drop and you were involved in crypto there, that would have been an awesome opportunity to buy. So, wow, that would have been, yeah. So basically keep your eyes on the charts, because if anything dramatic happens like that again, it's a good time to jump on the cryptos that you believe in, I suppose. Not financial advice. So, what has been performing today? Okay, SKL's up. Let me just get another chart going. What is this SKL thing? I can't even remember. It's been a while since I've looked at coin market cap. SKL. Gale Network. It's doing well. OG Alchemist. She is truly an OG of this channel. Can't stick around because it's my son's birthday, but so glad to see you back. Always good vibes. Thank you, Alchemist. Happy birthday to your son. Appreciate that. $10 super chat, thank you. Scale Network. Yeah, wow, okay, so this had a really, I mean, like a lot of alts, had a really dramatic 2021. And then, yeah, damn, recently, even like back in early March up until, the end of March, what a crazy run that was. Almost 200%, well, basically 200% from bottom to top. That's amazing. There you go. I remember, yeah, Mask, Nulls, Cake. All those gaming cryptos were, and anything NFT related was and still is pretty exciting. Let's check out Solana. That's the one that I'm still excited for. So yeah, if I take logarithmic off, yeah, that's come down significantly from that high. Just like a lot of, I mean, the whole market has come down a lot. But check out the it's maintaining prices above $80, which is awesome. I think the next bull cycle, Solana's going to be one of the, and this is just my opinion, is going to be one of the steady and I guess less risky performers. Like if you, and Bitcoin, of course, if Bitcoin ain't performing, nothing's performing. Well, it's a bit of a bias there, but I'm pretty sure that Bitcoin still holds a lot of dominance. So when it performs well, it's going to bring in a lot of money into the market, which then has a knock-on effect to the altcoins, as we know. I haven't got a subscription to TradingView at the moment, so sorry for the ads that come up and the pop-ups. But yeah, I probably won't get a subscription until the next proper bull cycle starts, or when all the when the market pipes up again. Oh, it looks like Static is heading off, so thanks for popping by, Static. Appreciate that. All doing well. I hope you guys are all doing well too. I miss the good old days of like 12 months ago. It was a totally different time 12 months ago. The market was going crazy. There was so much activity in the community, but I'm pretty optimistic. That's gonna come back. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time for that type of market to return. So it's worth keeping an eye on things, and pick things up that you're confident in long term. Do your research, of course, and keep your finger on the pulse, so to speak. But yeah, it'll come back. Whether it's this year, it might not be this year, it could be next year or the year after even. But the more accumulation time we have, the more you can prepare for that next cycle, and you'll be one of the smart money that saved up and held on to their whatever they held in preparation for that next cycle. Like all the people that held on through this and all of this, they were rewarded for their patience for the following bull run that happened afterwards. So yeah, it's a game of patience, that's for sure, especially from an investment perspective. If you're playing the long game, like investing for that next bull cycle, then yeah. I don't have to explain that too hard, but you can see what happens. It eventually goes through a cycle of appreciation. Good to see all these familiar names in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. It's been a hot minute since I last did a stream. I think it was mid-November last year, not long after my birthday. But yeah, still keeping an eye on the market, and yeah, just markets in general as well worldwide, like all the stock market and all that. Hello, little red big smile. Hope you're doing well. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today, just the state of the macro view of the market, really. Just the long term, what's happening on it from a real bird's eye view, a big overhead view of everything that's going on. So the weekly chart's good. I mean, we've been through a lot, like falling from 69k all the way down to almost 30, so 33. That's a big drop in it, and a hefty sort of drawdown if you were buying anything up in this part of the market. But who's to say this thing could carry on, and the next bull cycle could really take it up well beyond $70,000. So a lot of people were calling for 100k, 200k during this cycle here, or even this part here. Like everyone was aiming high, there's nothing wrong with that. Got to have a target, I suppose. But here we are. It's settled down a bit. I think whatever happens in Russia, Ukraine, like that's gonna surely have some kind of an influence on what happens in crypto, as well as obviously markets, the traditional markets. So yeah, it's really hard to predict what's gonna happen. Static, thank you for the $1.99. Doing requests. Can I hear Tiny Dancer? Well, I'm not a very good singer. You probably remember that from previous streams. I don't really... I don't sing too well. But maybe after a few drinks one day I'll give Elton John a crack. You probably saw the pictures that I posted in Discord that I went to a fancy dress party dressed up as Elton John. So that was good fun. By the way, I don't know, there might be a link to the Discord channel in the description of this stream, but if not, I'll find one for you guys if you haven't already joined. I'll post it in the chat and I'll pin it to the top of the chat for you guys. So it's free to join. There we go. So I'll pin that up the top. Ghost of Corey Bing Bong, $5 super chat. Thank you, Ghost. Great to see you streaming again. Are you planning to stream more regularly again? Would love to see you take a look at a coin called Reef. Thank you, Ghost. And yeah, I mean, it might not be as frequent as, you know, during the height of the bull market, like during that time, just because there's not a hell of a lot to talk about, or, you know, it's an accumulation phase. It's like a slow, long phase that not a lot of stuff happens. So, you know, I mean, that's not to say that alts can't pop off here and there. Like, there's still days that are tradable, and, you know, there's still activity there. But for the most part, the market as a whole, if you're a swing trader, this is more so heading toward accumulation. You know, the volatility, like, I guess the liquidity's not what it was like during last year, when there was a lot of movement, a lot of volume being traded on a daily basis. But yeah, I'll certainly have a look at Reef. Let's check that out. I think I might even have it in my watch list here. Yes, I do. Reef. Okay, so this looks like it's been in accumulation, or it's, if I turn the log scale on, yeah, there was a nice little run up here. That was during that, I think that lines up with the start of the Ukraine crisis, I guess you could say, the Russia-Ukraine thing. That started what, early March, and crypto went up. I've heard different sort of theories around why Bitcoin went up, and I think it's all the sanctions that were put on Russia. You know, they didn't have any kind of way to use their money globally because everything got shut down, so crypto was that avenue for them to still, you know, I guess participate in some kind of a global economy. So perhaps that's why there was this rise here. This could be all Russian money coming into Bitcoin at that time, which has since you know, basically come all the way back out again. But yeah, that's just a theory. Who knows? Who really knows what caused that hump there? But there's a lot of chop here. There's a lot of volatility in this range here during the whole Russia-Ukraine situation over in Europe. So, to go back to Reef, I mean, much like a lot of the other altcoins, it seems to be on a slow bleed, but that's not to say that it's not gonna perform well in the future. It's just, you know, this is where it's been. This is what I can see on the macro side of things. We've got lower highs, lower lows as well. So definitely on a macro downtrend, which is, I mean, if reef is something you believe in long term, like super long term, this is okay. This is good news for you, because it's, as time goes by, it's getting cheaper. So if you're in the frame of mind where you're accumulating, this is all okay. This is all healthy movement. I've seen in the past a lot of altcoins, not all of them, but some, if they're worth anything, like if they actually have a real project and a real team behind them that are developing the crypto, they'll go through this cycle of depreciation over time. It seems to plateau at like a low for who knows how long, like, it could be any amount of time. But then eventually when the project turns a corner and they, like their mainnet gets launched or something happens to spark some kind of a rally, that's when you see the value get reflected in the price, so, or on the chart. So yeah, if it's totally up to you. If you think reef is that has a future, then yeah, it's just like a lot of the altcoins and the rest of the market. It's a big old accumulation like zone. So things are flat. Will it drop dramatically? Well, it just depends. The people that do hold reef, like the big whale holders of, and this can be used as an example on any altcoin or crypto. If the big holders all of a sudden dump it, like they don't believe in its future, or they get some news of it, collapsing or closing down or whatever, or the team breaking up, they'll just dump it like where it is, and that's when you see these massive red drops out of nowhere. But yeah, I think this is just really, it's just going with the flow of the market at the moment. There's nothing, I don't think there's been anything traumatic to say that it's dead or anything like that, but yeah. So Static thinks a $78,000 Bitcoin. Okay, cool. Yeah. Predictions, predictions are tricky. Like, they're hard to make. I try to steer away from prediction and more so just try to teach people on strategy and ways to approach the market with the information that's behind us, because that's what's, I mean, past performance isn't a good indicator of future performance, but it can give you some kind of an idea of what might happen, like the behavior of how people interact with the market is reflected in the previous cycle. So we'll just have to be patient and see what happens in the next phase, in light of this accumulation phase. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin has showed us time and time again that it goes through, if I turn on the logarithmic view, go on the weekly chart, there are these times where it feels like crypto's dead, like these times here. And then, you get those rallies that come back and bring it back to life. So the point is, don't be disheartened just because things aren't moving at the moment, and that we've come off the back of a bit of a drawdown here and here, because the people that play this market on the large scale, like the so-called whales, they see these trends and they take advantage of people that aren't aware of these phases, and so I guess the thing to research is, do a bit of research on market cycles, where Bitcoin is, and what actions to take in what part of the cycle, that kind of thing. Good curve in these lower highs, right, Rick? Do you mean like like this. Yeah, I mean, everything's Wyckoff woodworking, DC woodworking. Good to see your name, DC. I still follow you on Instagram. I see that your posts every now and then come up. And you do beautiful work. Beautiful work, making furniture and whatnot. I got a thing for carpentry, so, and cabinet making. It's very satisfying. Yeah, it does feel like the market is winding up to something, like, because it's, I mean, if you draw lines of support resistance, or trends, I should say, trend line on the support side, and then if we adjust this line here, this is an old line from this high to that high, but if I unlock that, and let's see, let's draw a trend from this high here to this high here, that volatility is screwing down toward this apex here, and I guess we expect something to happen outside of that. I mean, it could very well just mosey on through it like nothing's there. Like, you know, we'll have to wait and see, but more often than not, something does tend to happen outside of a pattern like this. Like if you get, you know, volatility being squeezed down into an apex, into a singularity. Not a singularity, but yeah, like when things are compressed down like that. I mean, we can find examples in the past, like where that's happened. Like even through this. This is a bit of a stretch, but yeah, even, you know, price broke out of this pattern eventually here. I mean, this drop was obviously the COVID-19 outbreak. No one saw that coming. Well, I'm sure you could argue that point, but yeah, even just these 4 or 5 weeks after this squeezing of volatility, there was still a break, and that would have caused like a nice little sort of season there of trading, about a month worth, a month and a half. So, I mean, it happens time and time again. Like, look, there's one here. Let me turn off logarithmic so you can see it. You know, there's these flat periods of accumulation through here. I guess a lot of those chart patterns come off these kind of setups, right? They're like, you know, the bull flag, the bull pennant, all that kind of thing. So yeah, from a macro perspective, you could say we are in some kind of a really big bull flag or bull pennant, and it really wouldn't surprise me if we break out of this pennant or this formation to the upside, but I guess time will tell. It's sort of like a fool's game to make predictions, but especially like, you know, in crypto, let alone in the stock market, like it's talking about the future with any kind of certainty is, you'll set yourself up for disappointment if you keep doing that. But it's all about preparation. Like you got to prepare for what might be, like what kind of outcome might happen. It's about preparing and basically exercising a strategy rather than knowing what's going to happen for sure and then taking action off that. It's just preparing. So if it doesn't go your way, that's why we have things called stop losses. And if it does go your way, then awesome. You know what to do after that. Take profit, or average out. But exactly. So it is all about risk management. How much you buy, if you use leverage or not, all of these things, all these factors are up to you as an individual. which cryptos you participate in or trade in is up to you as well. Like, so anything that comes out of this channel is just opinion. There's no like, you must do this or this is what I think you should do. It's all just, it's just out of I sort of mainly stream and share my opinion just for your interest, I suppose. It's more of like an entertainment or somewhere to start if you're trying to learn as well. Like, so I guess the main focus of the channel was mainly just teaching how to read charts and you know, the basics of technical analysis. I mean, what you do with that knowledge is up to you. With technical analysis about where charts are heading and where they might, you know, where they might accumulate, where they might, you know, break out of a pattern. That's all what technical analysis is for, just to sort of well, it is in a way, I guess it is kind of like prediction, but yeah, the strategies around trading and investment are what you do with the technical analysis information. So you can basically deploy a strategy based off technical analysis. Like, you know, if my TA is saying that things are going to go up, I'm going to, you know, put in a strategy in place to take advantage of that, of what I think might happen. Whereas if things are heading down, there's strategies for that as well. And that is, you know, accumulation, that kind of thing. Perhaps, you know, if you have the ability to short the market, that's another, you know, there's so many different strategies depending on what's happening, on the conditions of the market. So anyway, I feel like I'm just rambling now. There's not a whole lot to talk about with the market, which is kind of why I haven't streamed in a while, but it's just a phase of accumulation, if you ask me. And yeah, we're just all anticipating that next bull run. So I'll certainly, my channel's still here. You know, when the action picks up again, I don't doubt that I'll be streaming on a fairly regular basis. So, but for now, like during accumulation, you know, the streams are going to be few and far between, as they have been, I suppose. Maybe not 6-month breaks, but like this one that I've been on from streaming. But yeah, it might only be every week or so, or a couple of weeks. But it's good to get back in touch with you guys and see that you guys are still keeping an eye on things. And yeah, I'll check back in with the charts every now and then. If there's anything interesting that I feel like I want to share with you guys, then I'll do a stream. But I do like the short, sweet streams. I know, like, some people leave their stream on 24/7. I used to do that too, but you know, maybe there's more value in keeping it short and sweet, especially if you're watching it after the fact. You don't have to like click through a bunch of dead air content where there's nothing happening. But yeah. Thank you, Static, $4.99 super chat. Come back more often, miss that sexy Aussie voice. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll have to do some more sort of hangout type streams where it's just us sitting in the Discord having a chat. Just looking at my Discord now. Alright, well, maybe I'll just leave this on for a little bit. Music playing for old time's sake. Just for the nostalgia factor. Even though it's only been like 5 months or something. Hey, Adam, how you doing, man? Much love to you. I'm doing well. Hope you're well too. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year, even though that's been a that's been a while. What about Easter? I hope you guys had a good Easter. So yeah, that's the thing with social media, like with things like YouTube, Instagram, like anything. Crypto isn't under the spotlight at the moment. You can see that like there's not a lot of action going on in social media, but when the market picks up again, that's when you get a lot of channels popping up, and much like mine did. When there's an audience there, that's when you'll see, it's like a self-feeding organism, I suppose. Like the community feeds into and creates content for things crypto related, which drives sentiment and in turn the market. So yeah, at the moment it's a bit of a quiet period during this accumulation phase. There's not a lot of that's one thing I was going to look at. The Miguel, $5. Welcome back, Rick. Second that on static. Thank you for the super chat there. So if we look at the total market cap, let's see if I've still got that in here. Yes. So it's still like, roughly around $1.8 trillion in crypto. That's mind-blowing compared to what it was in the years leading up to our bull market that we had last year. We are leagues ahead. We are, it's still an emerging market. It has been since 2010, really. For the last 12 years, it's just seen steady growth. So, there's a bit of data missing, but five years before here, you could imagine it was a similar kind of trajectory. And like overall, you see this trend moving up. Much like a lot of markets, I mean, if you look at, what is it, the Dow Jones? If I have that in here. Yeah, here we go, the DJI, the Dow Jones Index. So if I look that on a monthly chart, so you can see over time, this chart goes right back to before, like, look, 1897. There's the Great Depression. Markets go through these bust cycles, and then they recover. Here's the GFC, that dip there. Here's the COVID-19 outbreak, that little dip there. You can see, like, after every sort of downturn or recession, there is recovery. And, give it a long enough time, civilization is always on a path up. Well, it has been, as long as markets have been around, I suppose. I would start to worry if all markets globally trended down over a long period of time like this. I mean, it's never happened in the history of mankind. Like we've been basically growing as the human race, and we have, like, it's just technology develops, populations increase. We've got international travel. Like we're a global species. When we become interplanetary, who knows what the future holds? But yeah, markets recover, and on an overall, like, we've been on nothing but a bull market for 200 years plus, as far as the stock market goes. But yeah, and who's to say that won't happen with crypto? Like, I mean, that's the kind of optimism I have super long term for cryptocurrency, crypto in general, is that yeah, we'll see these bear markets, these downturns, but overall, on a huge macro scale, I don't see why it can't perform similar to the stock market. But it is still a baby. It's only been like, when was Bitcoin invented? 2009. So it's only been like 12 or 13 years. Still a baby. And if you look at it from that perspective, we are early in the game. You know, not as early as the people that got in below $5,000 for Bitcoin, but on a bigger picture, I think even today, like, it is still early days, and the volatility of crypto is also like a sort of a example of that, or a testament to that it's still a young market, and it's got a lot of wiggle room. There's still a lot of uncertainty. People aren't sure about it, so there's a lot of up and down, which creates awesome trading conditions. That volatility is what we love as traders. But yeah, even from an investment perspective, there's like long-term growth potential in it too. So you just have to be patient. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about this stream. So appreciate all the support, and thanks for checking in, guys. It's great to see you guys still around and keeping your eye on things. And I might wrap this one up. So yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in, and all the best with your crypto adventures. And I'll be around. Like, I might even stream in the coming days or weeks. I'll pop in here and there. But if you want to send a message or whatever, jump into the Discord channel, Crypto Down Under Discord channel, and yeah, send a message in the general chat. All right, have a good one, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, DC Woodworking, $5 super chat. Cheers.